Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFoat.com. With your hosts, Diana-Mite, Bruce Barker, and Scott Lucky Hudson.
Hey, how you doing? Lucky here. Man, I have been driving all day, drinking coffee and 5-hour energy drink till I've been going insane. I still feel like I'm driving sometimes, so watch out because it might be a wild show. I got Bruce over. Wait, no Bruce over there.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
There's Bruce.
Somewhere.
Hi, Brucey.
Hot Rod Bob Beck is over here trying to tell me to mellow out a little bit. And we have got a bunch of stuff. That's right. Now, Bruce, you've actually got a clip of me pulling into the studios. Here we are, little studio, well, not a little studio, a little town in North Hollywood, California. Big, giant rig, no parking, tons of traffic.
I can't believe
and,
it's still going.
Well, I had to be real careful because I tried to get as close to the curb as possible because the cars are like 6 inches away from the edge of my trailer. And I'm here. I was in Ohio at National Trails Raceway. Yeah, look, there's no parking, no room. There's the rig. National Trails Raceway for the Jegs Drag Slammer race last weekend. I was running the car Saturday, made some passes, packed it up, headed west, drove way too many hours than I'm supposed to legally, apparently. And
what? I didn't hear anything.
Got here in plenty of time. Jumped out of the truck, grabbed my Speed Scene Live shirt, and we are live in studio. What a wild life we live, huh, Bruce?
Oh, I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I came around the corner on whatever it is, Satsuma Street over there, turning on to Burbank Boulevard, and look at the size of that rig. I said to myself,
it looks bigger when there's no parking. Now, this weekend, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. This is some video from the Cruisin' for the Cure at Costa Mesa, California. Bob, you're going to be there, right?
I am going to be there. Yeah, I'll be in the AAA booth this weekend.
This is a great event, and you can see the thing I love about this event is there's a road going through the whole thing, and all weekend, people are cruising.
That's it.
I love that.
It's a cruising show. It's called Cruising for a Cure, and they do.
And there's all kinds of wacky stuff. You wonder what Shriners do when they're not in parades.
Yeah.
They come to car shows.
But they don't have to wear that hat.
Right.
Fez.
And you see so many great cars. There's so much diversity. I've heard that they've got a few thousand cars already registered. The vendor area is sold out, so it's packed full of vendors. Tons of stuff to do, and of course you can get your free prostate exam. And another thing that they do is they invite a lot of clubs, like this club right here.
DeLorean Club.
Yes, look at that.
And more DeLoreans than I've ever seen in my life. And actually, the thing that I thought was the coolest was I saw a red one.
Yeah, that one that was painted red. That was cool.
Really looked good.
Yeah.
You see them like this, and you go, yeah.
Look, it's a kitchen sink with wheels.
Yeah, but the red one looks super sharp, man. They should paint these more often. And of course, there's a lot of celebrities out there. The
George
Batmobile with George Barris right there.
He's taking pictures of the crowd.
Yeah. And look at the crowd comes up. Some guy walks up to him and starts talking to him. George, where's that $50 you owe me? But there's so much cool stuff, and you never know who the celebrities are. And I just found out today that Donnie Couch is going to bring Shirley Muldowney by the Curry Rear Ends booth this weekend.
Right?
That'd be great.
That's right. We're going to do an interview with her, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Shirley Muldowney, and Bob will be there in the Auto Club booth.
Yes, I will.
I'll be there representing Curry Rear Ends and Hedman Hustler Headers, and there'll also be all kinds of stuff happening. So come on down and see us. Get a free catalog, some Speed Scene Live stickers. Now, this is some video from the Jegs Door Slammer Open, and I'm sorry if I don't have more. I got a whole bunch, and then that was it. This is such a great race. J.T. Coughlin was there in his dragster. And so many neat cars. National Trails, what a great facility. And the racers there were so friendly. They had so much traction on that track. I got the best 60-foot of the year there.
Wow.
I was really surprised. I was like, wow, what the heck? Of course, it made me break out, but hey, that's not their fault. This race, of course, sponsored by Jegs, and Jegs was well supported or represented out there. Lots of Jegs flyers and stickers, and I got hats and drink cozies. It was also presented by Autometer and Racecraft Chassis, and they had all kinds of different stuff. They had, of course, a Brucey Transmissions was there and giving out a torque converter, and all these people were giving out free prizes.
Oh, that's cool.
It was $5,000 to win for each of the electronics days. But check this out. The non-electronics, they had a purse of $1,100. It was free.
Huh.
Whoa.
Free to race.
Jeez.
I rolled in the gate. I got a handful of 20s. Okay, how much for the race? Oh, no, it's free. What?
Really?
Wow. So, yeah, it was a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal, man. Really liked it. Well-run event. Mike Fogoy Motorsports put it on, and he really did a great job. They had a big party Saturday night in the pavilion. Scuba Steve was out there trying to blow his speakers up. Lots of fun stuff going on. And
I'm still trying to get an idea of the timeline now. That's National Trails, and where did you...
Saturday.
That was Saturday like 3 days ago.
Like 3 days ago,
Like
yeah.
you're here already.
Yeah, that was
You're
like 2,500 miles away. And, well, you know, sometimes when you start driving,
Yeah.
you know, time slips away.
Yeah.
And actually, the day before yesterday, I was driving along, and I kind of hit that part of the night where the truck stops fill up, and I couldn't find a parking place.
Oh,
No.
man.
So normally I drive 700-800 miles and call it a day. Well, I couldn't call it a day, and I ended up putting about 1,000 miles down in one day. And you know, it just seems like the more you drive, the better you get at it. And after a while, if I did this for another 6 months, well, I'd probably be dead because
Well, you don't have a logbook, do you?
I do have a logbook.
Yeah, you don't fill out your log. Never mind, we're not saying anything. I'm just doing the math on 700 miles in an 8-hour day.
Well, I
and,
started at 6:45
Yeah.
and I ended at 12 midnight.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay,
And-
now look, we've never done this. I'm going to see if
What's
this
this?
actually works.
What?
We've done here. Stop the video. We've never
Okay,
actually
stop
done
the
this
video.
before, but okay. There's our Speed Scene Live mobile camera.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know we had a mobile
Oh,
camera.
look, I'm getting dizzy already. Is
Wow.
it something I drank?
We'll get outside here.
Here,
Oh,
get outside.
okay.
Okay, look outside.
Yeah.
There we
There's-
go.
There's the rig parked. There's no police writing a ticket, are there?
It looks like you shrunk the trailer.
the trailer only. Oh, look at, man, that's a good picture, Bruce. Look at that.
Hey, isn't there someone breaking it on the other side?
Well, if they do, they're going to meet
Yeah,
Keno, the race dog, and anybody that tries to break into a
Yeah.
truck and discovers an 80-pound German Shepherd is in for a surprise.
You're going to go runch. There we go.
Yeah. Well, and I'm reading crew updates right now off of the Fote, and yeah, Tom, I did run no box because I'm running Nostalgia. I took all the electronics out. I'm running Seagas Nostalgia.
Saves 100 pounds.
Well, for me to race dragsters in an electronics category, they're going to eat me alive.
Yeah.
And so I ran no box. I ran non-electronics because that's what I run. I could put a delay box in, but I don't know. You know, after not running them for a while, I kind of like not having electronics. So, yeah, it was a great race, a variety of cars, really a nice facility. I love that National Trails, man. It's all grass, and
Oh, wow.
it's just beautiful. And here's a cool thing, another thing they did that I really liked, and I really think that a lot of the West Coast tracks should... look at that burnout, man.
A lot of the West Coast. You mean both of them?
Yeah, both of them should look at the tracks back east and take some of their ideas.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that was really nice is not only did they have a non-denominational chapel service for the Racers for Christ, but they had a room upstairs in the tower that was a kids' activity room.
Is that right?
And you could bring your kids up, you could hang out with them, or
Free Ritalin?
you could just drop them off. And they had toys, activities, they had, you know, things that all the kids would do together, and the kids really looked forward to it. The kids liked it. The parents could go out and race and not have to worry about, okay, my kid's bored. You know, it really emphasizes the family atmosphere that I see as being so prevalent back east. You know, people bring their kids and they bring the big wheels and the cornhole game games, and they bring all the toys and the barbecues, and they really make it a family activity. And I would like to see the tracks out here do that more.
Wow. Well, Bob, as you mentioned, though, I guess more tracks and then more family activities.
Well, we've only got, 5 tracks in all of California.
How can that be?
From the start, we had 5 tracks in just the L.A. area at one point. So, and they wonder why street racing has flourished.
Indeed.
And meanwhile, you go back east, there's tons of racing, all different kinds. There's a lot of S10 pickups, more so than out here.
A lot of them getting built for that.
A lot of S10s. And, the races are packed, lots of activity, and the people are nice. It's really a healthy racing environment. And there's a lot of tracks. One guy I was talking to said there's 8 tracks within towing vicinity of his house.
Wow.
How about it?
So,
gives you a lot of chance to race, man.
Well, it's a different atmosphere of people, too. Back there, if you don't race, you don't stop someone else from racing, whereas here in California, if you don't race, nobody else should.
That's right. That's the attitude, man. Yeah. Which is, well,
it's I want to really say that they put on a great event. Check out this car, man.
You can't see it. It's camouflage.
That's the best camouflage paint job I've ever seen. If you saw it up close, I was going to come back and get some detail of it. Really looks great.
Dare I ask, you're following the cars along. How is the speed scene camera crew doing that?
Well, what I did was I stood in the staging lanes and I let them drive by.
Oh. See, I thought it was actually the camera was actually moving.
No, the cars are moving.
Oh. It's a sleight of hand.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood secret.
Oh, but you shouldn't have told even that much.
Well, the plan was, and I never did actually. I came to race, not to film. But I was having some trouble with my car. The flex plate in my car was acting up, and I tried to change it, and I didn't have long story short, I didn't get it changed. And so, I would hit the starter, and sometimes it'd be fine, and sometimes it hit that missed tooth part of the flex plate, and it would kick back, and it'd make all this noise, and I just thought, oh, man, you know what, this thing's going to break, and then I'm going to have to push it to the trailer, and I'm going to have a problem. So I ended up not really enjoying the racing like I did, and I shot a little video, but normally what I do is I go to the tower and I get permission, and I was just kind of shooting some off the cuff just so I can show. Hey, you see this T-Bird?
Yeah, I see it.
That's the GetX dial-on marker guy. The guy that sells the shoe polish that you put on your cars. Yeah.
Oh.
In fact, I went to the store there because I didn't have any shoe polish.
Yeah.
Because I had to put my dial on, and I went and I bought some GetX shoe polish right there at the track, and he was there representing.
Oh, that's cool. Now, does that stuff wash off a little easier than regular shoe polish?
Yeah. It's like, you can just wipe it off with your hands or a rag or something.
Yeah, because I know I've taken my car and I put the numbers on with regular shoe polish, and you play havoc trying to get that stuff off.
Yeah, no, never use regular shoe polish. You can use it on glass windows because then you can razor blade it.
Yeah, but not plexi.
Not plexiglass. So, hey, it's nice that Jegs sponsored this event, and it was nice that JT Coughlin, he's the youngest of the Jegs race crew. He was there representing. They had the big Jegs trailer, and we showed you that Nova a little earlier, the 66 Chevy Nova.
Yeah.
And, it's nice that even though they had this big NHRA event down at ZMAX, that Jegs was out here supporting, sponsoring, and representing at the local sportsman level. And
the grassroots, those are the guys that are buying more of the parts.
Yeah, and of course Jegs is in Ohio, and this is an Ohio track. But man, I you know what? I'm impressed that they came out and they really showed off. And my next order, I'm going straight to Jegs.
There you go.
Nice.
And not only that, Bruce, check it out. I got my my Jegs hat here.
Oh, there we go.
I got my Jegs hat, the free Jegs hat. I got my free Jegs drink cozy here for any type of adult or non-adult beverage.
Man, you are styling.
I'm ready, man. This is proof that I was in Ohio just a few hours ago.
You're going to put a yellow stripe on your...
Don't get carried away, Bob. Don't get carried away, okay?
Okay, yellow and red. That'd be a nice, sharp combination.
I don't know. I bet you it'd have some power there. After all, yellow is a huge component in a flame job. So
yeah. Well, my car's all yellow.
Well, there you go, man. That Plymouth's got a lot of yellow and red on it.
That's it.
And a lot of black, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it in the heat. Huh?
Hey, now, this weekend, lot going on. Of course, we talked about Cruising for the Cure. The NMCA is going to be racing out at Speed World in Arizona, so you can go down there and you can race with them. And then don't forget the ANRA, the American Nostalgia Racing Association, will be at Bakersfield for their finals October 12th through the 14th.
Going to be a good weekend.
Oh, man, there's a race every weekend in October right now. You can go, the first weekend is the NHRA Heritage, then ANRA, then the Hot Rod Reunion.
Yes.
And then the NMCA has rescheduled and moved their last race, the season finals, to the last weekend in October because, well, Fontana's not ready yet.
No, and for you Southern California racers, I was talking to Blake and John Bowser, they have 5 weeks straight of racing at Famoso. So it's going to be busy right through the Hot Rod Reunion. And the Hot Rod Reunion, you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Oh, I think I left out the Summit Team Race.
Summit Team Race, that's right. That's what's coming up, too. The Summit Points Race is coming up right before the Hot Rod Reunion. So it is going to be chock full of racing in an area here where we're complaining we're racing starved. There is racing going on.
Nice to have the option.
And, of course, if you're down towards Southern California or south of Southern, the Verona Racetrack has a great event this weekend. That's going to be the Antique Drags. And you know what? Why don't we start talking about the Antique Drags now, Bruce? I think you might have Don Julian on the phone.
Hello, Don. Welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hey, Don.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
We're doing good, Don. Big event, the Antique Drags. I was down there last year, and you had some cool cars.
Oh, this is San Diego's biggest event. It's been going on since 1985.
Wow.
So, started at Carlsbad, and then Carlsbad, obviously we know what happened there.
Yeah.
And so we just took it over, and it's a great event. 27 years it's been going on.
Now, one of the things,
over 2,000 spectators and sometimes over 200 cars.
one of the things I love about this event is I see cars at this event that I never see at other events, like 1928 Buicks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, these guys just build these cars, and that's all they race. We do it twice a year, and they just bring them out for this event. It's a lot of fun.
All right, what is the year break to get into the race?
Pardon?
What year break? What's the newest car they can run?
74 on down.
Okay.
And it's just a blast. It's one big grudge race is all it is.
So you're going to have muscle cars, you're going to have hot rods, you're going to have antiques.
Yeah, we have it all. We have some vintage motorcycles that also show up, and all the way down to 30s and 20s.
Yeah,
Russ Ayers brings his car out every year.
Yeah, we're seeing some street rods now running down the track. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we are, and it's just a blast. And I just like to just invite everybody to come out and enjoy it. It's just such a fun event.
Now, what's the website of your track so people can get more information?
It's veronadrags.com, and it's phone number 619-993-0272 if you got any information.
Now, who's going to be the announcer?
Mike English.
Mighty Mike, huh?
I always bring Mike out for the antique
Good.
drags. He loves doing it.
Yeah.
Would Mike be considered an antique announcer?
Oh, yeah,
I
is.
would think so.
Yeah, he's definitely an antique. I've got pictures of him before he was an antique, and there's a big, you can see. Yeah, he needs a restoration.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do? Is it all brackets? Do you break it up into different classes?
Nope, it's just one big grudge race. If you want to race or something, call them out, and there's even betting. We've had one guy was betting $500. See, we're on the Indian reservation, so we're allowed to do that without any repercussion from anything.
Well, when I used to race down at the Brotherhood track, they used to bet 500 hot dogs.
Yeah.
But you guys don't.
That's what you call them, huh?
I'd like to give you a little history about Verona. Next year, we're coming on our 10th anniversary. That track's been there. July 12th, it opened up in 2003. So we're planning something big on July 12th of next year.
Good.
Well, what are you planning? Come on, give us a little teaser.
Well, we got it in the works, so we'll probably bring Tony Frankel back out with the jet car.
Okay.
He's always draws a really good crowd with his cars, and we're going to bring some other and let you know what's going on for our 10th anniversary.
Yeah, and for those people that think, because Barona's an 8th mile track, they're not going to get much speed. He's going over 200 miles an hour at your track.
213 miles an hour, 365.
Yeah. Yeah, he runs strong. There's nothing. He doesn't hold back at your track.
No, he doesn't. And last year we had side-by-side 200 mile. No, excuse me. This year we had a side-by-side 200 mile an hour races, and it was just fantastic. The crowd was just going crazy.
Now, Don, I got to tell you an interesting sidelight. Oh, look at that Cadillac.
Yeah.
Nice.
57 Cadillac. Awesome. Hey, I was at National Trails last weekend out in Ohio, and it's a quarter-mile track, and they ran 8th mile. They didn't have to. There was no wind or track conditions. The racers like to race 8th mile, and so even though they had a quarter-mile track, they raced 8th mile.
Yeah, 8th mile is really getting popular, and I almost guarantee you watch the fuel cars are going to go 8th mile because they're already running way faster than they should be.
Well, and it's amazing how back east it's just sort of the accepted thing, and everyone sets their cars up for that. And I guess you could do a gear change, put some 513s in the back or something. But that's just what they race, and they're used to it. And if you go from track to track to track, you got to pick one. They all pick 8th mile.
Yeah, it's easier on parts, and there's probably more 8th mile tracks and here around the United States in quarter mile.
And if you have an oil down, you only have to clean up an 8th mile.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I noticed that they ran the cars faster, too, because what they would do is as soon as one pair crossed the finish line, they would let the next pair do their burnout. And as the next pair staged, the first pair were pulling off the track. And, they went through a lot of cars really quickly.
We have an average of 200 to 225 cars at the antique drags, and they'll get 5 to 6 runs each because we just run them through.
Hey, here's Woody's Corvette right here.
Yeah.
I love watching that.
Behind the smoke cloud.
Yeah, it's under there somewhere.
In there, yeah.
There he goes. There he goes.
That guy.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's a great guy, and he's running Speed Scene Live stickers on the Corvette.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, your track is really nice, too. It's set out in the, almost in the middle of nowhere, but it's out there away from all the hustle and bustle. It's a nice, quiet area. Your pits are real friendly, user-friendly. You get a lot of people out there. There's no reason not to go out to your track. It is a cool place.
We have no restrictions. We run at night. We've ran till 2:30 in the morning before.
About 24 hours of Barona.
Yeah, that'd be... That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Don, if people aren't going to race, if they just want to come out and spectate, how much does it cost to come out and watch?
You can go $20 online. Oh, excuse me, $15 online and $20 at the day of the race.
No, it's not bad.
And then $50 for a tech card, and then it's $40 online if you buy it before.
Wow, so you can buy the tech card online? That's great.
Wow, that's great. That's a good deal. Save a little cash.
Yep, it will. Well, hopefully see you back there at the next one. We have it every 6 months.
Well, I'll plan on being at the next one. I can't make it this time because I got to be at the Cruising for the Cure. But you tell Mike English we said hi, and you know what? I'm sure it'll be a great event, and we hope that everyone that goes down has a good time.
That'll be Mike's warm-up race, won't it? So he can get his voice in sync for the next one?
Oh, he came out for the jet car. We bring him out for that.
His voice is always in sync.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's there.
He's a very professional.
Well, when you talk to Mike again, ask him about the Old English bracket.
Yeah, definitely will. And I want to thank you for having me on. I just want to say a shout out to my son Shane, lives out in Greer, South Carolina.
Wow.
Works over at Mean Street Motorsports, and I'll be going out to Greer Dragway on the 13th of October.
Oh, wow. What's out there?
That's just a race out there. I'm going to go out and spectate.
Nice. Hang out with the son. Enjoy. Well, you'll probably enjoy some of that southern hospitality.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's a nice track. It's 8th mile track. It's IHRA, but I'm not going to hold it against them.
Well, Don, thanks a lot for calling. And, hey, it sounds like a great event. We look forward to seeing it each and every time it comes to Verona. The Antique Drags at Verona Raceway sounds like a great event.
Thank you, guys, and you guys have a good evening.
You too. Take care.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bruce, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, Hot Rod Bob, you're going to give us some book learning.
I am going to do something.
You're going to do something.
I'm going to do something. I'm going to give you gas antique style.
Oh, man. Gird your loins. By the way, thanks to X-Core Video for some of that great footage at Verona, the antique drags.
Nice shots, man.
Oh, man, that was gorgeous stuff. All right, we're going to be right back. Speed Scene Live.
Hi, I'm Bobby Boogaloo Schwartz, and when I'm not winning here at Industry Speedway, I'm watching Speed Scene Live.
Whether you have a hot rod that needs more hustle or a muscle car that needs more muscle, if it's more power you want, Hedman has it. Since 1954, Hedman headers have worked harder, fit better, and lasted longer than the new guys on the block. In fact, Hedman headers are so tough, they're guaranteed for life. So log on to Hedman.com tonight, because if it's more power you want, Hedman has it.
For over half a century, Curry rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Curry lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com. Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV with your hosts, Diana-mite, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, the Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton, and the Great American Auto Scene with Bob Beck.
The Great American Auto Scene, indeed, that comes up next. First of all, though, I'm Bruce Barker, and there's Lucky Hudson back in studio.
I hear that Bob drove all the way from Northern California to do the show tonight.
Well, halfway anyway.
Well, north of where we are now.
North of south. I got north of south.
It's north of south.
But south of north.
How many 5-hour energy drinks and coffee cups did you consume?
It depends on how many gas stations are in between for me to stop at.
I do understand. Yes. Hey, Dynamite's off on assignment tonight. Bryant Layton as well, but we're going to be hearing from them soon. Dynamite's back next week in the studio. And hey, it is time for the Great American Auto Scene with Hot Rod Bob Beck.
That's right. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Beck, and you've got gas here on SpeedSceneLive.com. Forgot where I was for a second. We've had so much fun so far. You know, I don't know about you, but I have old cars. I love old cars. But when I get an old car, I want to find out information about them. And one of the ways of doing that is locating a brochure or a magazine ad. Well, I found a website that has all the old ads and brochures back to the 20s and 30s, all the way up to today. These are some of the great ones that are all burned. I mean, this is part of their sales brochure for the time. Now, I've just posted a few samples out here. You can go on the website, and we'll get that posted for you in just a moment, and you can see all these brochures. Find the brochure for your car. I've got the magazine ad for my car here, and we'll see that a little bit later. And I think I even have one for you, Bruce.
You know, there was a 58 Ford in some of the antique drags footage, and I was going, oh, look at that.
Yeah, well, you know, but in your case, I even have one for the Edsel.
Oh, you the man, baby.
The Edsel and the Ranchero. I've got them for you. But, you know, here's the Hudson.
And toward the end of its life there.
Yeah, and you look at some of these ads, they were really creative for the time, but they give you insight and information. Here's a beautiful shot of the Hudson and the big, sweet six-cylinder. That Twin-H Hudson Hornet motor. Now, this isn't the Twin-H motor, but the Twin-H, that was the fabulous Hudson. You know, if you watched Cars, that's kind of a recreation of the real fabulous Hudson that actually did dominate NASCAR racing.
Yeah. Well, the Hudson was the most powerful car at its its time,
Yeah,
right?
300 plus cubic inches of 6-cylinder that was really torquey and really ran strong. Now here was the Hudson Hornet, where they tried to go into the compact market. Here's my, the Hudson Hornet.
I had to show that.
Yeah, little Hudson Hornet. That was a compact car. It was a unit body car, small car.
Hey, here's your car.
Here's right here, 48 Plymouth. Yep, there we go. See, I even found the ad for that. Now this one's the 4-door, but you get the idea. It goes back. It has magazine ads. It's got the newspaper ads.
And notice, by the way, it's got the gent down in the lower right with the dog asleep at his feet on the back seat of the car, I'm assuming.
Yeah. The Plymouths back then had tons of legroom in the back.
Well, and it does claim in that corner, in case the print's too small, it's the Air Pillow Ride.
Yeah, they had very soft springs in those seats. I've never read in the back of my car, though. Here's the 57 Plymouth. Here's a shot right from the brochure. This is the cover of the 57 Plymouth brochure.
That thing would look like a rocket ship.
Oh, man, for the time, they were so nice. Now, here you go inside the brochure, and here's shots of the chassis, the engines that were available, the dashboard, and these were really Art Deco designs that were just fabulous for the time. Chrysler at the time put the rearview mirror right on top of the dashboard.
Yeah.
But in 1956, Plymouth tried to break the mold of their 6-cylinder past and low-performance, just economy cars, and they came out with the Plymouth Fury dual-quad V8 engine. And they broke 2 NASCAR records down at Daytona Beach. And that is shown prominently in the brochure for the first Plymouth Fury, which was 1956.
Well, that explains the name a little better, because even the name is very aggressive.
Yeah.
So, that explains why they went there, I guess.
Yeah, they knew they had the horsepower.
Yeah.
Now, the start of the pony car era.
Yes.
And everyone says, well, the Mustang started it. Kind of, sort of, but the Barracuda was out before the Mustang.
Interesting.
Okay, now hold on.
I'm holding.
This car right here,
Yes.
there was a guy that had one at National Trails, and I talked to him. He had this exact same car. He bought it. It was 8 years old when he bought it. It had all the original stuff, and then, of course, he gutted it and put a roll cage in it. But he had that same giant window in the back.
14 cubic feet of window.
Man, and I go, boy, that's a big window, and and that was how the whole conversation started. So I had just recently looked at one of these, and we spent a half hour looking at the car.
I wonder what you do if that thing breaks, because nobody's going to be making a new one.
You got to find the used one someplace.
Yeah.
This was the inside of the brochure for the Plymouth line, and you had Sox and Martin, and their the rapid transit system was what Plymouths were called back in the late 60s.
Oh man, I love that.
And that was the website for where you go to get these things. They got great ads, great brochures for just about every car around, and it's a private collection. The gentleman who does this does not do it for profit. He does this because he loves the stuff, and he's in Europe, in Sweden, I believe.
It's nice that he's managed to scan things at a high resolution. I mean, we're seeing some really fine print here at Speed Scene Live. If you blow your picture up on your stream, you'll probably see a lot of this too, and it's really nice.
Hey, Bob, I got a crew update, and he wants to know, what do you think that car with that big window would be worth nowadays?
You know, I was looking at one at the Chrysler Performance West Car Show about a year ago, and for about $5 or $6 grand, you can buy one of those.
They're not that expensive, huh?
No. The Barracudas, depending on what condition and the upgrades and things like that. This one needed paint, needed some interior work, but the mechanicals were done.
Huh.
It was on a trailer. It was a 4-speed 273 Commando motor.
Well, that's surprising.
It was great. This is one of my favorite cars, the Avante.
Oh yeah.
Now that everyone, Studebaker, stodgy cars. Well, not really. And this was an all fiberglass 4-seater.
Yeah.
They had a fiberglass body back then.
And the darn thing looks like a concept vehicle, but no, it was a production car.
It was a production car, and Andy Granatelli up at Bonneville set numerous speed records with those. They were available with a supercharged engine as well, 289 cubic inches supercharged, and they set many Bonneville records. Now, the compact age, you think about it with the imports, but now it was really started here in the USA and for the U.S. market. And here's the Henry J, and I had a 51 Henry J just like this. Well, it wasn't just like that. Mine was a little more weather-worn, but it was a nice little compact 4-cylinder motor, same motors in the Jeep, the optional 6-cylinder. The trunk lid was actually optional.
Is that right?
As was the glove box.
Hey, Bob, somebody once told me that you could buy these out of the Sears catalog.
It was sold as an Allstate through the Sears catalog as well. And we used to have here's your Etzel
Yeah,
Bruce, this one's for you. But the Allstate was sold through the Sears catalog. It was the same car, just different trim pieces on it.
Yeah.
And we had a husband-wife team that used to run the Nostalgia Drags. He had the Henry J. She had the Allstate.
Wow, nice.
It was Mama and Papa Goose.
You know, it appears that sometime during the 50s, early in the decade, maybe, they started doing a lot of the advertising and brochures like we're seeing here on Speed Scene Live, aimed at women.
You know, some of the cars were specifically targeted towards the female buyer, so they had pastel colors. Chrysler had a whole line of vehicles they called the La Femme series. And they were pastel colors, pink and white and so forth, but they were geared towards women buyers.
There you go,
There's
Bruce.
your Ranchero, Bruce.
Yeah,
There we
right
have
there.
it, man.
Same color as your 58, but not a flip top like yours.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that. And this one aimed at ranchers, you know, people who wanted a truck.
57 was the first year of the Ranchero. So what they wanted people to do, they wanted the gentlemen farmers and ranchers and people that wanted a truck but really didn't want a truck.
Yeah.
Well, I got a truck, but this thing rides like a car.
Well, yeah. And
this one's for you.
well, look at that.
What's your name?
It's a Nova.
But it's okay. So this is what the Nova looked like the year after yours came out.
Now,
No.
this is
Yours is a 66 or
mine's a
7?
66. It
Okay.
says 67.
Next, This one's a 67.
But
I
it's
don't know
got
the difference.
it's got the trim in the back. It's a non-SS.
Non-SS, okay.
Yeah. Look how little the wheels are.
Oh, yeah, the skinny little
Yeah.
tires on those things.
You're so
funny.
used to seeing big drag wheels.
You know, and I had a buddy in high school that had one, and it was a 327, 350 horse, 4-speed L79 model, and it still had those skinny tires.
Is that right?
They're 14s,
Yeah.
and I think they're probably only like 5 inches wide or something.
It was something really narrow, and you know,
Yeah.
at the time there was no performance tires.
Well, that was an economy car, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Now I had to do this one for me as well.
Yeah, that is the same generation that
That
you
is the
drive.
89 Corvette. That is the same year as what I've got. And then for you off-road guys, Ford had a special edition Bronco. They called it the Baja Bronco, and it was color-coded or color-painted to match the Strope Baja series of Broncos that would race at Baja.
Now, is this why I always see these painted this color scheme? Because it seems like I see this scheme all the time now.
And that was a factory-authorized color combination.
Oh.
And now, Bruce, that one's for you, too, because, you know, hey,
Yeah.
the Metro. This
I
was, you know,
know.
the Nash and the Hudson version of the Metro. That was truly one of the first compact cars of the mid-century. The early ones were the Bantams, the Austins, and so forth that were built here. But this was built in Britain exclusively for American motors here in the U.S.
Don't you just love the use of the word blazing in the aspect of that?
Yeah.
What's the 1500 mean? Is that
was
how
the
much?
size of the engine.
The size of the engine or the price tag?
1,500 cc's. No, I think the price tag was less.
Less than 1500?
Yeah, and here's the coupe and the convertible version.
It's interesting they call it 1500 because my car didn't have a 1500 indicator anywhere on it. I think they just picked a name there.
Well, no, it depended on what year you had. The first ones had a smaller engine. That was the
Okay.
year they switched to the 1,500cc engine.
By the way, there was one of these, a complete unrestored one at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, for sale in the swap meet area, sitting on a trailer.
The Metro or the Rambler?
Metro, not
okay.
the Metro.
Well, I had to show the Rambler, the Scrambler, and then here, you know, the AMX. American Motors tried to pitch that as America's first sports car since the Vet and the T-Birds.
It was a two-seater.
It was a two-seater. It was more of a pony car without a back seat.
Yeah.
But, you know, you see these, and they were great. Now, here's a true American sports car.
They're coming out again with
They
these.
are back out. They've just been released, and they brought it back. They're no longer going to call it the Dodge Viper. It's called the SVT.
Okay, now I had heard.
RT.
Now let me ask you a question, Bob, because you're smarter than me. I had heard that the entire Viper line, when they did the the restructuring or all that financial stuff, was for sale, and you could have gone in and bought the whole Viper line, the factory, the inventory, everything. It was up for sale, and I don't know if anybody ever bought it.
I think there was a rumor that they were going to try and sell it off, but they never did. And when Fiat got control of Chrysler, they decided to bring it back, but they wanted to wait a while, do some updates, get stabilized, and then bring it back, and they have. They made the American Le Mans Series first race or last race as a test. They wanted to see how they were doing. And they're doing pretty good for teething. The car is totally redesigned. The engine's got more horsepower. I believe it's bigger in size. They've redone the cylinder heads, the intake system. So the Viper has come back, and it's come back rejuvenated. They've updated the body style. It's still totally Viper. You know it's a Viper. There's no question about that. But it's back.
I don't imagine we'll see the Plymouth, the Prowler. I don't imagine that one's coming back.
No, Prowler won't come back. That's been gone for too many years. But the talk now is, and I've seen this in a couple of different...
Hey, there's a Prowler that just went in the screen behind you.
Really?
Oh, that's crazy. What?
Well, break that back.
I know we can't.
Bring that back. We'll have to look at that.
That's too bad.
But they're talking about bringing back the CUDA. The next generation of Challenger is going to be 4 inches shorter than it is today.
Huh.
They're going to try and get some weight out of those things. They're almost 4,000 pounds.
That's a lot of
But
beast.
what they're also talking about is bringing back the CUDA. So you'll have the Challenger and the CUDA, and they're looking for that around 2014.
Well, you know, Nash Bridges, Don Johnson drove a CUDA on TV.
Yeah, he's still got it. And then if you watch NCIS, he's got a Challenger.
Wow. Must be a Chrysler man.
Must be. He's also got the money to be a Hemi.
Yeah.
Chrysler man.
Well, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to a guy driving a Chrysler Pro Mod.
Okay.
Smoking Joe Lapone.
There he is.
Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Rockin' Rob on Speed Scene Live. Look out, Orlando.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guides ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you. Slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online, mention the Speed Scene, and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Whether you have a hot rod that needs more hustle or a muscle car that needs more muscle, if it's more power you want, Hedman has it. Since 1954, Hedman headers have worked harder, fit better, and lasted longer than the new guys on the block. In fact, Hedman headers are so tough, they're guaranteed for life. So log on to Hedman.com tonight, because if it's more power you want, Hedman has it.
Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live TV with your host, Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, the Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton, and the Great American Auto Scene with Bob Beck.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Beck here with Bruce Barker.
Hello.
And Scott Lucky Hudson.
I'm still driving.
Yeah,
still
he's coming
driving.
back from his worldwide tour of the United States, drag racing at every track between here and California.
You know, it is so weird that not quite the same thing that you're going through right now. Still driving, but a couple of days ago, I towed a car over to the paint shop. It's a 68 Mustang convertible, so it ought to come out looking kind of pretty. But that car, I drove that car for 10 years, just every day, 3 hours a day I was in that car. And so it was weird to get back in it after a few years of it just being parked in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I drove it just out to the driveway so the tow vehicle could pick it up. And then I followed the vehicle in a big Skyliner, and I was just completely out of my element because I was having these weird Mustang flashbacks.
Yeah.
It was weird. I was going, man, why isn't the power steering working? Where's the brake pedal?
Muscle memory.
Yeah, it's muscle memory. Yeah. Even the fact that the seat is completely worn out on the Mustang, and I just am I sitting on a pillow here? I was in a totally different car.
Yeah. Now the Mustang you're having painted, is that your 4x4?
No, it is. It's a bone stock 289 Mustang, and
convertible. Did you say
convertible?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I've owned the thing for 25 years, and it's about time she got pretty.
That's the one that you sold to your sister once for $1, right?
Different one.
It's so hard to keep track.
It's even for me.
Yeah.
I walk out at night, I go, where'd I park, man?
Which one did I park?
What am I driving?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of guys that can drive, not just Bruce, but we were talking about Chryslers and all the great cars. We've got an interview with Joe Lapone, who's been driving a Chrysler Pro Mod at the NMCA West events. And take a look at this car. It's beautiful. It's swoopy. And if they had made all the Dusters like this, they'd have sold 1 million of them.
Lucky here talking to Joe Lapone. Joe Lapone is one of the best and most accomplished drivers out here on the Pomona track. Joe, not only are you behind the wheel of this beautiful purple Mopar Pro Mod Pro Street car, but you have a lot of history out here at Pomona. Tell us about some of your past accomplishments here at the Pomona track.
Well, I really love this track. It was the first time I won a national event here. It was in 1985 at the World Finals. It was a great race. My family was here. All my sponsors were out here. All my friends from California were here. And it was a great thing. I was #1 qualifier in 1986. I got to quit saying
Yeah, the ums are bad. We'll cut those out, though. We got a computer. Now, in 1986, was that a Pro Stock car?
Yeah, it was a Pro Stock car. I ran Pro Stock professionally from 1982 to 1996. I had I guess it was a very fortunate situation where I was 21 years old and I was behind the wheel of Bill Grumpy Jenkins' toy.
Wow, a young kid with a celebrated tuner like Grumpy.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. We did it for 2 years, and that's what we were supposed to do. And then we went our own ways. And it was funny because when somebody would ask me, "What's the neatest thing you ever learned from Bill Jenkins?" I mean, he was a pioneer in Pro Stock and small block Chevrolets. And it just came out one day. I said, "That man taught me 27 years of mistakes I'd never had to make."
Well, that's invaluable information. Now, you went for Pro Stock. Now you're behind the wheel of a Pro Mod, Pro Street car. What's the difference? A lot more horsepower, obviously?
Yeah, it's a lot more horsepower. It's pretty much the same thing. I make a living fighting gravity. Okay, we had to accelerate 2,500 pounds from 0 to 240 miles an hour in 5 seconds. Of course, it's like pulling out in the ice sometimes. You Californians don't know what that's like, but it's no fun. The neatest part about actually driving the car is I get to feel my work. I've been tuning cars for the last 7 years for a living. And as far as what the neatest part of the ride is when a car goes into high gear. It's got 903 cubic inches of Pat Musey fuel-injected power, and it has 4 stages of nitrous oxide. The engine itself makes 1,800 horsepower without the nitrous oxide. But when this thing goes into 4th gear, it's like putting your street car in a second. It's just a really neat ride.
Wow. Well, you gave me some great facts one day about G-forces, and do you remember any of those?
Yeah, I remember most of them. People there, the force of gravity is 1 times the force of gravity, so that's what we're standing at, okay? The space shuttle leaves at 3 times the force of gravity. That Pro Mod car sitting here that Daryl Hubbard owns, that I drive, leaves at 3.25 to 3.4 times the force of gravity.
More than the space shuttle.
More than the space shuttle. It goes from 0 to 60 in 0.8 of a second, which is 47 feet. As far as California goes, I know you're going to ask me that next. I love California. The fans are educated, and they're great people out here.
How are the NMCA treating y'all?
The MCA is a great thing, and the other thing I have to say about the MCA, they have the foresight, okay, to bring the Pro Mod cars to California. NHRA has not done that yet, so all the fans get to see the Pro Mod cars, and I think that's great. Their 10.5 cars, their street radio cars, their top sportsman cars are just unbelievable. We have over 450 cars here, and I guess that's, you know, pretty much a reflection of the work that they do and the exposure that they give us. And, you know, they're building a really great fan base for the sanctioning body. They work with us. I mean, they're racers and racers. Of course, we all have issues, but I mean, it's been a great sanctioning body, and I can see this thing going nothing but forward, and we're going to support them 100%.
Well, I know you have some sponsors, but you guys are looking for corporate sponsorship to kind of take you to the next level.
We don't want money to go racing. We want a sponsor to show that we can be the best salesperson that they have. You know, this is what it is. It's a marketing thing, you know, and I'd love to represent anybody. We've got a great team. We have great exposure, and I'm not so bad looking, and I don't talk too bad on the radio either.
You're a good talker. Where can people, is there a website, a Facebook, where can people go to get more information on you and where you'll be racing next?
We have a Facebook page up. It's D-Bar-D Racing. And then I have a personal web page, which is Joe Lepone Jr., Joelepone Jr. I didn't have to look at my license that time because I got a good memory. And we can do that. If anybody wants to send me any emails, my email's real easy. It's Joe Tuner, Joetuner. That's what I do. I tune cars at att.net. And I really appreciate Speed Scene because you bring us to the people.
Well, thanks, Joe. I know you guys are getting ready to go up, so we'll let you go. Good luck, and hey, hopefully we'll get a chance to film you later holding one of them Wallies.
That would be nice. I'd like to add that to the collection. Thanks again for everything. I appreciate all the support of the racers and the sanctioning bodies.
Look at that car. I love the way that car sits right there.
Look at the blower on the Firebird next to him.
Yeah, that is the one of the local Pro Mod racers.
Yeah, I remember we had some still shots of this car. It's great to see it in action a few weeks ago on Speed Scene Live, and seeing it go down the track, man.
Yeah,
nice.
Wiggling just a little bit. Let's see who got the win light.
That was a really hot weekend out there at Pomona, and the track was just, I don't know what the track temperature was. I checked it once. I think it was 145 degrees or something. Just incredible. So, meanwhile, let's go all the way back to Tennessee. And here we are with a good-looking car. This car had 5 miles on it.
What?
Man, look at the
well, since they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, check out the rear. I got a Curry rear end. So I crawl underneath, look at the rear end. The underside of the car looked exactly like the top of the car. Completely finished, painted, beautiful. And this car was picked for one of the top 25 cars at this car show at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
That's amazing.
Of course, Curry Rear Ends was there. We were showing off our products. We handed out a bunch of catalogs. There's Keno the race dog. He's hard at work.
Protecting
yes.
rear ends.
And we had the Hedman Hustler headers on display. And, of course, we had the Curry Rear Ends Nova there. And it didn't do nothing. It just sat around and looked pretty. Kind of like Keno the race dog.
Now, you're saying it's going to look prettier soon.
Well, it's getting a new wrap. In fact, the week before the day before I left to come out there, the guys came out to install the wrap, but there was a technical glitch. Something about the way the letters were on there. So the next time you see this car, well, not the next time, because the next time it'll be look just like this out at the Cruising for the Cure. But after that, it'll be covered in flames. It'll have a new Curry logo on the door, and then we're going to top it off with a set of black hole shot wheels that'll just really make it look sharp. So it's getting, ever since Mo helped me with the body work, and Mo did all that hard work and did a great job on the paint and body, all of a sudden the car looks nice. So things are happening.
It's amazing because, for a long time, that was a pretty predictable look on that Curry Nova.
That's right. And it wasn't a great look because it was getting kind of beat up towards the end there. And now it's a whole nother car, and you go places and people talk about, wow, what a nice car, man. And
that's good.
Now it's going, and look, there's the predictable look right behind us on the screen there, up here.
Oh, yeah. We can only show it there. Yes. Okay, yeah, there it is, a bit of predictability.
Yes, well, unfortunately, we did get some rain out there at Pigeon Forge. It didn't seem to really make a difference. Nobody left. None of the cars left. In California, everyone goes home.
Yeah, but everyone back there knows cars don't shrink in the rain.
They don't?
They just hung out. They pulled out their umbrellas. They put on their ponchos. There was kids walking around. Poncho, $5. Poncho, $5.
What about Cisco?
Yeah. Nice callback.
I have no response for that.
Pancho and Cisco.
So, it was a great event. Love going out there to Tennessee. Love the cars out there. I love the people. The people out there are just amazing. Everyone's there to have fun. The 50-50 was over $40,000. So if you bought a ticket for $1, you could have gone home with $20,000.
Wow.
The other $20,000, the Shades of the Past car show, spreads it out over a handful of charities, and they give all the money away to charity. The car show also gave away a complete 32 Ford Roadster built by Alloways, which is
Alloways Street Rods,
one of the best street rod companies in the world. I got a chance to stop and see their facility. It was amazing. And so Alloways had a beautiful 32 Ford Roadster with a Curry rear end. Gave it away for free. I saw somebody drive it out the gate.
That's hard to believe, man.
I mean, amazing that you can get a turnkey out the door, ready to go have fun car.
And if you didn't win that, you still could win $20,000 on the 50-50.
Wow. Or they had a $10,000 giveaway. They had all these different prizes. Wow. They spent an hour giving away stuff.
How long did it take you to drive there?
It took me 3 days to get there.
Thinking on going there, Bob?
Yeah, I'm thinking about some long runs for next year on my street rod.
Oh, that'd be sweet, man.
One of the things that I'd like to try and get to is I'd like to get to back to Detroit for the Woodward Dream Cruise.
Yes.
I've done it 3 times, once in the back of a friend's car, but I'd like to take my car back there.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Bob, because we're setting up a tour right now.
Yes.
The Fall Speed Scene Live Tour 2013. Okay, September, Shades of the Past.
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Okay.
And you got to go because the town is amazing. Also in September, the first ever NHRA Hot Rod reunion.
Back east.
At New England Dragway.
Yeah.
The first ever. That's also going to be in September.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll save my vacation time, and I'll help you back.
Man, let's go. We'll load up the trailer. We'll put 2 cars in there.
Yeah.
We'll tow out. Of course, you'll have to share your space with Keno, the race dog.
Oh, I think I can do that, yeah. I'll bring my lint brush to get the hair off.
I suggest you bring some milk bones.
Okay, yeah, definitely do that, yeah.
Boy. See, now I'm thinking, oh, man, that would be so cool. If we could bring a whole bunch of cameras and we could bring the entire studio along. Let's do the show from there.
Why not?
And before we go, we'll watch the movie Road Trip.
There you go, yeah.
It's a plan.
Yeah. National Lampoon's Vacation.
That's it. That would be more like it, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to pull up this photo. That's the car Dar was talking about. He mentioned, by the way, and we talked about this early on. I brought Dar up because we talked to him during one of the breaks. Shirley Muldowney's car.
Yes.
And Shirley are going to be at that event.
That's right. So if you come on down to Cruising for the Cure, you can meet Shirley. And then also she's going to come by the Curry rear ends, the Hedman Hustler header booth, and we're going to do an interview with her. We've got that set up, so we'll have it on the show. But why not just come on down and meet her in person? I've met her a couple times, and it's just great to meet somebody with so much history and so much you've known about her all your life, and it's just great to actually talk to her and say hello.
She's really mellowed with the years. She was one of the grand marshals at the Hot Rod reunion a couple of years ago. She was signing autographs at the Winter Nationals one year. They had a whole row of drivers signing autographs in the the snake pit area.
Yeah.
And she was part of that. She's a very, very nice lady.
Man. And isn't she pretty much instrumental for women? I know there were other women in motorsports before her.
Paula Murphy and her and Shirley Shahan. A lot of ladies got into drag racing, but Shirley was the one that broke the barriers.
She was the first Top Fuel, right?
She was the first Top Fuel lady, successful.
And she was the one that tried to get her license, and they said no.
No, you're a woman, you can't get a license. Yeah.
And she kept pushing, and
Coletta helped her. Those are the days of Connie Coletta when they started out in Michigan, and got into drag racing, and she set the world on fire. She showed them that a lady can be in this sport and be competitive.
Indeed,
that's right. Drag racing. There's no race. There's no religion. There's no gender. It's just badass hot rods and horsepower.
Right. That's it.
Yeah. In fact, we got proof of that with the encore presentation of the show next.
Nice. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Bruce, I got to get out of here. I got to drive home.
Oh.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Yeah,
he's just got to figure out how to get on the freeway.
That's right. He's got 71 feet of driving just to get actually from the tail of the vehicle, back over to where the front was.
Yeah. I got to somehow get out of this Hollywood high-rise area here and get back on the freeway. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to close my eyes and punch it.
As long as that thing is, he's going to get home a half an hour before the back of the truck gets there.
I know, man. I know. That's the way it's going to work.
Tune in next week. We got more fun stuff. We're going to try to get Diana-Mite back in the studio next week because we miss her. It's just hard doing the show without her.
I'll bring her brownies.
Sparkling, effervescent personality.
Hey, for now, we have to be content with the encore presentation of the show, which comes up next. Thanks so much for joining us for the Lucky Returns Home Edition. Glad you made it, man. I'm glad
it's great to be here. I miss it when I'm out on the road and I call on the cell phone. It's just not the same. It's great to be live in studio with you all.
Appreciate it. Coming up next, of course, the encore. Be sure to check out the archives page. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. You can check out a lot. I said check out like 3 times.
We're on YouTube now.
Yeah, we've been on YouTube for a very long time, but now you can see the shows as they go back months in case you need to check out some of that stuff that's not available at the SpeedSceneLive.com archives page. So there you go. Just another tip to keep you here, to keep you racing. All right, we'll join you next week right here at Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and thefolk.com.